Hey everyone, I'm Ihor Sukhovatenko. Recently I set a new national record in solving 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Now the national record of Ukraine is 695 average. Average is calculated as follows. The best and worst results are discarded and from the rest the arithmetic average is taken. And I was able to do average of 695, which is less than 7 seconds. And in today's video I'm going to analyze each of the 5 solutions. Folks, subscribe, like and comment. And don't forget about the bell. Ring it. Here we go. So this is the first scramble of the national record 695. You can see what the scramble looks like, and let's move on to reconstruction, the review of this record. In the first scramble I immediately saw that there is a white-green part in its place. Also, white-blue and white-orange are located very comfortable. In my first attempt I planned this white and orange pair, moved a green one to the top, made D prime, then made this LY2 move, solved this pair, white and orange, put it in its place, and then put the fourth piece of the cross here. Then the second pair is orange and blue. I made U2, formed a pair and inserted it. Then I noticed the blue-red pair, made U, made a pair and inserted it with a left hand. Rotation. The last pair was solved with R prime, U2, made a pair and inserted it in a back. After that I saw OLL and PLL. Something like that. The result was 726, 60 moves and 8.26 TPS. If you didn't know, TPS means turns per second. Let me try to solve a cube with this scramble again, but already knowing how I solved it. And I will try to solve it faster. As you can see, it went a little slower than my official score. Let's move on to the next one. The second attempt, the scramble looks like this. You can examine it carefully and as always you can scramble it yourself. We are starting the reconstruction of the second attempt. I saw the white-green and the white-red parts, which are very convenient to solve in 2 moves, and then you need to turn them a little. Then I had the blue and white part and the orange and white part. With these moves I solved 2 parts. Then I made a U prime, inserted a white-orange detail and placed the last piece of the cross. And I planned this orange-blue pair. I didn't make it in the most optimal way, but I turned the corner like this, and we had this orange-white corner. When I was solving I didn't notice it, and then I would have put this part together first. But I remembered where these details will be after I make my planned pair, so it helped me later. I solved the orange-blue pair, R, U2, R prime, solved the pair, turned it on myself and inserted it. These 2 remaining parts are very convenient. It was left only to put them together and insert. Next I see this pair, quite a good option. We call this a pair with a flipped edge. Put it back, formed a 3-mover and inserted it in a back. Then was quite a convenient pair. I formed a 3-mover and all that was left to make a 3-mover. Then I had a quick OLL and a perm. And all this in 774. I made 59 moves, 7.62 TPS. Let me try to solve this scramble at speed. I'm curious how much time will it take me in studio. Almost the same, 776. almost at the same time as I had at the competition. Not bad, let's move on to the next attempt. So the third scramble. It's a bit unusual, you can see it on your screen. There are almost no blocks, looks quite difficult. Let's move on to the reconstruction. I saw that I have a white and orange part located quite good, just one move. The rest of the details are scattered very chaotically. I started with these movements. R prime, F, L. We have two edges placed well. I put the blue part to them and solved the cross fully. The pair I planned in inspection was blue and red. When I started to solve it, I saw that we have this split flipped edge pair. I inserted it in a back. I remembered that I will use it while solving other pairs. I realized that the last one I had to solve was this one. So I put together my first pair and then I moved on to orange and green. Here we have a corner and an edge. Solved a pair and inserted it with left hand. So the next pair I had was blue-orange. I made U2, formed a 3-mover and made it. As I planned it in inspection, this flipped edge pair will be our last one. I made a double rotation, U, and this easy algorithm. I solved this pair through the front, formed a 3-mover and inserted the pair into its place. Then I saw a rather complicated situation with the last layer. I decided to make such an unusual algorithm, RUD. First I solved the corners and I only had to place the edges. Next I saw that I had an H-perm, which is solved through the middle layer. Well, this is a good end of the solving. I did it in 6.90. 60 moves, 8.7 TPS. Let me solve it again at speed. I already know the solution and I will try to solve it faster. I did it in 6.47. This is already very fast and probably the best result for today. So this is very cool and let's move on to the following. Fourth scramble. There's a lot of blocks as you can see. This one looks quite interesting. The cross is quite simple I think, but people solve such a cross in different ways. I turned the orange color on myself, made the first move R prime to put in place white-orange and white-red. I put the next white and blue on their places, then put the white and green with a double move, and then B prime and F simultaneously. After that I decided for some reason to make red and blue pair first. Although I had in front this red and green, so I made a rotation. Then I split it, formed a 3-mover and put it in a back. Then I formed this pair, which I first noticed when explaining to you, into a 3-mover. I saw in front of me a solved pair, and when I was already making a 3-mover, I knew I would have a solved pair almost in front of me. I moved it on its place, and the last pair left was orange-blue. I solved it through the back. I put together this pair and inserted it. After that, I noticed this OLL. For some reason I didn't immediately understand what kind of situation it was. Made U to test what we had here, made U prime to turn it all back to the initial position of the algorithm, and started this OLL. After that I had T perm, quite a fast and simple algorithm. And then U prime. I solved it in 64 moves, 9.8 TPS. This is quite fast. Almost 10 moves per second. Let me try to scramble like it was at a competition and try to solve it in a studio. Less than 6 seconds, this is a very good result for me. Let's go to the 5th attempt, which helped me set this national record. Here we go. As you can see, the scramble has several blocks. Not to say that it looks complicated. I usually solve starting with white. Here is a rather complicated situation with the cross. I decided to solve it like this. First, put the red here, then I put the green and white in its place and moved it down to the white center. After that I lowered the red and white and finished the last two pieces of the cross. When I made the rotation from the solved cross, I saw the solved pair. I made a D prime, then an interception. After that I made F prime, U prime and solved the pair. After that I saw this pair, put it in the back, formed a 3-mover and inserted it. Even though I've seen this solved pair, I've decided to first insert this green-orange pair into the back slot. I made U, solved a pair, made U prime and inserted it with a double move. After that, in order to solve the last red-blue pair, I made an interception and noticed a rather interesting situation. If I do U2 and insert the pair into the back slot, I get an OLL skip. It really helped me this time. I just had to do U2, PLL T-perm and U. It was thanks to this luck I was able to solve the scramble in 6:68, 51 moves, 7.63 TPS. Let's try to beat this result in the studio. It was than my official time, but still very fast and it's less than 7 seconds. I really liked the scrambles, which gave me the opportunity to set this national record. If you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I probably had to write down all the results I got at the studio and compared them to my national record 6:95. I'm going to ask you to do that and write it down in the comments. I think it's a little slower. And also write your results on these scrambles. Perhaps it was you who managed to do it faster than the national record holder of Ukraine, Ihor Sukhovatenko. On this humble note, I say bye to you, but not for long, until the next video.